This is the plaintiff, Terry Blackburn. She says she rented a room in the defendant's house and had to move out early because her sister had a medical emergency in another state. She prepaid rent. The nasty defendant refuses to give her back her money because she has no compassion. And she's suing her for every penny of the $1,625 she's owed. This is the defendant, Eileen Barth. She says the woman moved out in the middle of the night without telling her, and she left her a nasty note to boot. The plaintiff broke her lease early, tried to sneak off, and she doesn't feel as though she deserves any money back. She's accused of being tough on a tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented a room in the defendant's house but had to move out because of a medical emergency, and she wants her security back. But the defendant claims the woman moved out in the middle of the night and broke her lease. It's the case of Apartment 911.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Ms. Blackburn, you are suing for 2 months' rent that you gave the defendant, and you changed your mind about the rental because of family issues. Let me hear what happened. Tell me.
Okay, well, I moved in on March 18th, and I rented a
How did
room
you find
from
the place?
Eileen.
How did you find the place?
I found it on roomies.com.
Okay, so you didn't know her, correct? Like you were strangers?
No, I didn't know her previously.
All right, so you come in, you look at the place, you like it, and she was living there, correct?
She was in the back. There was a studio in the back.
Okay. Separate from
Where she
your
lived.
part?
That's correct.
All right. So she offers you an opportunity to move in early. Tell me about that.
Okay, well, I was originally going to move in for April 1st, but she contacted me and said that she had a room earlier. So I was so excited. I said, great, sure, okay.
And why were you looking for a new place?
Because I was separating from my husband.
Okay, go on.
And so when I get there, I give her the money. She gives me the receipts, and I am brought to the room. It's a mess, it's dirty, but that's okay because we agreed that I would work to pay for March's rent, the half of the rent, and then we would discuss what I owed afterwards. So
well, but your understanding was that instead of having to pay prorated rent in March, you would just clean up, not just you would clean up the whole place. You would give it like a good cleaning, correct?
That's correct. There was other rooms, yes.
Other rooms that what?
The whole house needed help and needed cleaning, and I agreed to help her.
Was anybody else living in the house besides you?
Yes, there were other tenants.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so the $800 is for April rent, starting April 1st.
Correct.
And then the other $800 was the last month's rent. And then there's a $25 key deposit. And then what happens?
I cleaned. I kept track of all my hours, what I did. We actually became very close, very good friends, I felt, because we were close in age. So, you know, we worked on things together, but then I did a lot myself. When new tenants were coming in, I would get the rooms ready for her and help her.
How long did you live there?
I moved in on the 18th and I moved out on March 30th.
Okay, and why did you move out on March 30th?
My sister, she had an emergency in Virginia, and I had to go and help her.
A health scare?
Yes.
You didn't just go back with your husband?
No, I did not.
Okay. So how is it that you notify her that you're moving out?
That day I found out from my sister she needed my help. I called her, and she said, okay, I understand. When I got back to the house, she gave me a hug. She understood completely. So, but then I started talking about the money, what I was going to get back from her. And she said, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have your money. I said, well, I need my money to fly to see my sister. And she says, well, there is somebody coming to look at another room. Maybe you could talk to him about getting your money back.
All right. And you believe that you have a right to all your money back. Why? If you decide from one day to another that you're going to break a month-to-month I presume there's no written lease, right?
No.
Right. So then you are, by operation of law, what is called a month-to-month tenant. So why is it you don't have to give any notice to her and she's not entitled to at least part of the money?
Well, she didn't even say she would give me part. I would even be willing to work with that, but she didn't have
Okay, but your
anything to give
lawsuit
me
is for
back.
all of the money. So tell me why you
That's
would be
correct.
right. So why would you be legally entitled to all of the money?
Because I never lived there the
Okay.
date that I was supposed to live there. I moved out before the date.
And do you believe that the law requires you to give any notice?
No, the law does not, as far as I know, that it doesn't require any notice.
Okay, but it does. So, all right, let me talk to you, Ms. Barth. What's going on? Tell me your version.
She came to me. I did not contact her about the room opening up early. She came to me. She wanted to move in that day. I said, I happen to have a room that is empty and we could just barter for the 2 weeks. You can help me out around the house and you can stay until your lease actually starts on April 1st. And I verbally said, I don't do less than a 3-month rental, but I'm not pursuing any of the
Well, you
other
don't get
rents
to
that I
because you
lost.
don't get to verbally say you're not pursuing less than a 3-month rental. If you want nothing less than a 3-month rental, you have to have a written lease for that.
I understand.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm not pursuing that.
Right, because you can't, not because you're magnanimous. It's because you can't, because I suggest to you that if you don't want short-term things, then you put it in writing. But go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
All I'm looking is to retain the monies that are in the lease first and last.
Why would you be able to retain 2 months? Did you get?
It's first month and last month.
I know what you collected. I'm asking you, why should you be able to keep it if by March 30th she tells you, I can't stay? Why wouldn't you only be able to keep 1 month when what you have by operation of law is what is called a month-to-month tenancy, which requires 30 days notice? If she tells you on March 30th, certainly she's not going to get April back because you need those 30 days to re-rent it. But why wouldn't she get May back or whatever you call the last month? And why wouldn't she get the key deposit back?
Because the April, the room, I had already turned away other tenants and told them that April was rented. So the room sat empty for April.
And then was it rented in May?
No, actually, I didn't rent it until just like a week ago.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Who gets to keep the money here? Is it the plaintiff who had an unexpected emergency or the defendant who says she was left high and dry? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
30 days is what the law gives you to find a new tenant when a month-to-month tenancy. All she's got to do is give you 30 days. She doesn't have to give you 60 days. You're acting as though she has to give you 60 days by keeping 60 days worth of rent. She only has to give you 30 days. And if she doesn't give you 30 days, she's going to owe the next rental cycle. That's April. That's what she owes you. What happened with the key deposit? Did she return the key?
She left a key to the house, but I thought that I had given her a key to a room as well. That, again...
Did she ever give you a key to the room? Well, it appears you didn't give it to her. All right, so there's a $25 key deposit and $800 in the last month rent, which I am ordering the defendant to pay the plaintiff, $825, verdict for the plaintiff.
Okay.
So the plaintiff prevails. She's going to get $800 back, not the $1,600 she was originally seeking. Ms. Barth, you're the defendant. What do you think about that? You got to give her $800. How about it?
I guess that's fair. That once Judge Milian explained it to me, I guess that's fair.
Well, good for you. A lot of people don't agree instantly when the judge explains, but good for you. So that's what's going to have to happen. Ms. Blackburn, do you understand the decision and why you're only getting $800 back?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I mean, I do.
I'm not Your Honor. I'm just Doug. But anyway, thank you very much. So you're all right with the decision, no problem, right? Okay?
Yes, I am.
All right, that'll do it for this interesting case. Harvey, what are your thoughts?
Okay, Doug, most leases say you have to give 30 days notice if you're a tenant before you leave. If you have a month-to-month lease, I will say this, in most states, even if it doesn't say in a month-to-month lease, you have to give 30 days notice. In most states, judges say you still have to give 30 days. You just can't walk out. There are some exceptions in certain cities, but generally 30 days is the standard, and if you don't do it, guess what? You're going to lose your security.
How do you treat your daughter's boyfriends?
Well, that depends on how my daughter's boyfriends treat my daughters. But usually, I think they have been very, very good judges of character. I love boys because I didn't have any. So all of a sudden, when there's a boy hanging around the house, I'm very, very excited. And then all of a sudden, they'll tell me, well, we broke up. Well, I didn't break up. How come I don't get to see them anymore? And that's a little heartbreaking. I remember once my mother, when my college boyfriend and I broke up, my mother said, don't bring any more men in this house unless you're getting married. I'm like, Mom, I'm 20. You know?
Your mom took it hard.
She took it really hard. She loved him. He's seen her. We're friends. And he has seen her throughout her life after that.
You know, our daughters have so far made pretty good choices in that department, and the boys they've brought home, they've been polite, so we try to put them at ease most of the time. But we do keep them on their toes, I suppose. Make sure they look after the girls.